All right, welcome back to another Footy Thoughts episode, game week 11. This is Joey,
11. Wow. I'm Casey.
fresh off of an international break, getting ready to hit these December fixtures. I'm pretty sure in a couple of game weeks, actually, this is the first one where we'll have a Tuesday, Wednesday game week.
Mm.
So come Christmas, we'll be flying. But
hmm
we have a bunch of games to talk about on Saturday. More normal 9 a.m. slate with 5 games this time. But to kick it off with the early kick, it is Burnley at home against Chelsea. Burnley off back-to-back losses, I believe, and then Chelsea finished the international break with a win against. I know they beat us. I'm sure,
Wolves.
and then Wolves as well. So
hmm
still in good form. I know they're third right now, just off of City by 2 points. But we talked about places like Ellen Road and Turf Moor, just off the top of my head. And especially with the early kickoff, just kind of weird vibes in general. I really do expect Burnley to give Chelsea a game here.
Yeah.
Um, Still expect the Chelsea victory. I remember from earlier in the season, Burnley was at home against Liverpool, and we thought Liverpool. I mean, from where Liverpool was early in the season to where they are now, two different teams. But it took like a 95th minute goal from Salah from them to get a point there. So I think I'm still going to back Chelsea here, but I do think that Burnley give them a tough game, like the classic 0-0 in the first half with some late goals from Chelsea to come through.
Yeah. Yeah, I kept flip-flop. This is actually one of the harder ones of the slate, at least, just because on both sides, I really like Chelsea this year. In fact, I'm pretty sure week one when we came out with our, trophy predictions, I was like, it's coming to London, and it was Chelsea that I chose. I don't see that still happening, but I think I have two key points here. Is one is like Chelsea went into this international break with so many injuries, and throughout, they're in Europa League, right? Or Conference League?
They're in Europa.
Europa, yeah. Throughout Europa League, I mean, they were just throwing out all of their super young, inexperienced
No,
guys, and
no,
they
no,
were
no.
getting.
Sorry, they're in Champions League. They are in
Oh, that's
Champions
right.
League. Yeah.
That's right. Um, they were just throwing out all of their like super young, inexperienced guys because of injuries, right?
Like
I mean, they have
Gittins.
a laundry list of injuries, and it's just it's tough for me to see that being sustainable. I'm pretty sure Enzo Fernandez got injured over the break. I'm pretty sure Pedro Neto got injured again over the break. I mean, they got Liam Delap back, but like, I don't know. I don't see that being a sustainable, like, winning every single game type of PL form, when you don't have all of your players. So I kept flip-flopping here, and I think another thing I want to mention about Chelsea is that in the week one podcast, we also had a very long discussion about, not long, but an important discussion about Liam Delap versus João Pedro, mostly FPL related, but who was going to start, who's going to get the most minutes, and blah, 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 blah. And I did have a prediction back then that I thought that Liam Delap, if they both stayed healthy, Delap would get those random starts in games specifically like this.
Mm-hmm.
Away to Burnley, your nitty gritty, go against an English, just like an English uh, park the bus type of team.
Yep.
Um, and so I can see Liam Delap actually doing a really good job in this specific matchup, but this one's hard to predict because I want to say Chelsea because they've got the depth, but I kind of agree with you. I can see Burnley making this very, very tough and it ending like 1-1, maybe like 2-1-0 Chelsea, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I'm gonna say 1-0, 2-0 for Chelsea. Burnley have
Yeah.
only allowed 4 goals at home to
Hmm.
start. I know, I know it was Liverpool. I know they played Forest. I know they played Leeds. So I don't know if it's a skewed stat based off who they've played, but like I think it's still early enough in the season, and they're down at the bottom of the table, but it's not like they're getting blown out consistently. Like they're giving good matches, they're getting points they need to get. So I don't think like they go into this game knowing they're about to get beat. So I think that gives them the confidence to
Yeah.
at least through the first half. Like
Fleming.
Yeah,
Watch out for Fleming.
God, he
He
pissed me
can't
off.
stop scoring.
Pissed me off last week or last game week. Just stared at him, got the foot bomb notification, and just almost had to put my
Oh
phone down. But
man.
anyways, move on from that game. Early kickoff. So again, weird vibes for that game as well. Starting with the first game of the 9 a.m. slate, we've got Bournemouth at home to West Ham. West Ham back-to-back wins. Keep an eye out for them. But they are still in the relegation zone. And then Bournemouth kind of cooling with back-to-back losses following the end of last or before the international break started. Semenyo picked up a knock. He withdrew from is he Ghana or
Ghana. Hmm.
Ghana?
Oh no.
Um,
Shoot.
whatever. He
I should
withdrew.
know that.
He withdrew early. 1 to 3 weeks was being floated around on Twitter, but then he got engaged. So maybe it was like, oh, he's injured, not really left. So like, just keep an eye on that. But he's also just not been performing as well. Definitely, once your boy brought him in FPL, he just completely fell off. Missed a penalty recently too. And then you've got West Ham under Nuno, who, like I said, back to back wins. Things are clicking. He's trying to figure out this lineup. I still want to give the edge to Bournemouth here just because I still believe in Iraola, the manager, over Nuno, and I still like their squad more, especially at home. But I could still see a 1-1 or like a. I don't. We always go like 1-1 or 2-1, but I think I see West Ham scoring here, and I do see both teams scoring as well. So, but I'll still lean. I'll go 2-1 with Bournemouth. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm fairly similar. My instinct tells me is that West Ham now is going to turn into this team, especially after a big win, or some two big wins at. Oh no, they didn't just play two home
It
games,
was
did they?
2 home games against
Yeah, yeah.
Newcastle and
Okay.
Burnley.
Two big
So
wins at home where they're actually scoring goals. Part of my instinct here is that they're going to turn into kind of an Elland Road Leeds type of vibe
sure,
that
sure,
we've predicted, where
yeah,
they'll score goals, they'll be competitive at home, but once they go on the road to an actually good team with good core players, they'll fall apart again, just like they have earlier in the season. So I really like Bournemouth here. I'm probably not going to take any sort of hype around West Ham as of right now. Um, and I would say, in terms of score prediction, I do think this game could potentially go pretty wild, especially if Bournemouth just like take it to them and, they're relentless and embarrass them again. I would say like a 3-1 Bournemouth, 2-1, 3-1 Bournemouth, is what would be my guess. But I just can't get sold on any sort of turnaround from West Ham right now, especially away from home against a good team like Bournemouth.
yeah.
I don't see it.
I love that take though because Bournemouth are off back-to-back away losses to City and then 4-0 to Villa, with Villa being one of the hottest informed teams. But I like that big score possibility because I do see the how we talk about these relegation teams about being good at home and then on the road it's just night and day.
Hmm.
But with Bournemouth, I mean 7 goals in 2 games. I get it. It's City and Aston Villa, but I mean that's way too many goals to be giving up, especially with a
Sure.
not a new manager bounce West Ham, but they've scored 3 goals in back-to-back games. So I
Yeah.
like that. I like a higher score, high result in that one. Moving on to another game that I think we'll both agree will have a high score is Brighton at home to Brentford. These are two middle table teams right now, 11th and 12th place. Kind of a scattered form in terms of wins,
Wins, laws,
losses,
drosses.
wins, losses, and draws. We
Uh,
were talking before we started, but this is just classic Danny Welbeck game. Not to steal your thunder on that one, but he just only scores in these home games. But then you've got Thiago for Brentford on the other side. I think he's just behind Holland in terms of strikers, maybe even in general with goal scorers so far in the Premier League in the Golden Boot race. Definitely top three, if not right behind
yeah,
him.
he's right behind him at 8,
Yeah.
and then Danny Welbeck at 6.
Just exactly who you thought would be going into the season.
Yeah.
Brentford, it's very similar to this Bournemouth West Ham prediction where I've been hyped about Brentford all along, and they've shown that these home games with beating Liverpool 3-2 like they can perform there. Obviously now they're on the road. Same thing with Brighton as well. They'll perform at home when they need to, and then once they get on the road, like for example, on the road they drew Palace, but I remember Verbruggen having multiple big saves that game to keep
Yeah.
Brighton in it. Then they beat Leeds 3-0, and then they lose to Arsenal 2-0 on the road. So kind of similar prediction as the Bournemouth game. I could see this being a high scoring game as well, like maybe even up towards that 3-2 mark for Brighton, but
Yeah.
some goals in this one.
Yeah. I had the same prediction here. I mean, Brentford has just been a team that has been printing goals on both sides, right? They've looked way better than we've expected after giving up, two of their best goal scoring threats. Um, and then Brighton is just a team that they will always be exciting no matter what kind of matchup they're in. And their defense can sometimes keep clean sheets and just like look really solid, and other times just like completely fall apart. So I don't see them being able to handle this Brentford team, especially Brentford's one of those teams that just like when they're away from home, I mean, they find ways to embarrass other defenders and they just find it. So
Yeah,
it's kind of a cultural thing for them. So yeah, I see, not because I think that both of these teams can score 3 goals each, but more so on the side of I think both of these teams can concede more
gotcha.
than 2 goals. And then you've got two fairly good attacking teams, right? You've got two Golden Boot. Let's exclude Holland for now because we know how that's going.
Yeah.
But if you excluded Holland, you've got two Golden Boot race, strikers on these teams, and so yeah, I think it's in line to have a fun one.
No, I completely agree. Okay, moving on to the other, or one of the other 9 a.m. games, we have Fulham against Sunderland. I mean, that's not copycat, but Sunderland is definitely on the better end of these relegation teams we've been talking about. They are on the road this game week, but they've only allowed 5 goals in 5 away games so far. We've talked about them plenty about how they've structured their squad with the right mentality, brought in the correct players, not only for short term success, but their longevity in the Premier League. Fulham, on the other hand, really kind of stuttering along. They're not getting any goals from Muniz and Raul Jimenez. Kind of the rotating pair of Josh King and Emil Smith Rowe really can't find any sort of creativity, but they are taking care of the quote unquote small teams at home. They beat Wolves last home game 3-0. And then besides Arsenal, they beat Brentford actually 3-1 as well. So um, I don't want to overthink this one. It's easy to find or fall in love with like this fairy tale. Like Sunderland fans are probably looking at this game being like, oh, we could get a point from this
Yeah,
game. And maybe they're even thinking
yeah.
like, we could get three.
Hmm.
A little bit of a stretch. Not that as I'm thinking about this, remember how it was Liverpool, Newcastle, or those
Hmm.
Liverpool Villa, and we're like, Liverpool just wins this game. Like I know
Yeah.
they're in bad form. They
Hmm.
like in the same vein. I look at Fulham Center and I'm like, ooh, Sunderland's in
Yeah.
fourth or fifth place, like whatever. Like they might. No, I think just Fulham. It's a lot tougher to say, but just Fulham wins this game. Like I just
Yeah.
Fulham wins. That's all I can say about
It's
it.
one of those ebbs and flows of following the Premier League for
Yeah.
so long, especially with teams like Fulham who have just been in the Prem for so damn long and they've just been the same thing the whole time. They
Mhm.
haven't like really gotten way better or way worse or anything. They've just really they're stable, which a lot of teams that's where they want to be. They want to be just a stable Premier League team. It's safe. And yeah, that's when you follow that kind of like flow for a long time, echo everything you just said. I mean, this Sunderland team is super exciting. Granit Xhaka just had a very tough game, and he'll be flying back from Kosovo. He probably flew back tonight, but um, yeah, I mean, Fulham probably just win this game with like a Harry Wilson goal and like a I don't know, like a Ryan Sessegnon like late winner, and then
Lukic bullet header.
Bert Leno has like 6 saves and a
Yeah.
clean sheet. You know, it's just like it's one of those games. So Yeah, I'll take Fulham with you here. I think Fulham just get the 3 points. If not, maybe a disappointing for Fulham 1-1 or something like that, where they leave the stadium and they're like, rats, we definitely should have gotten three
Yeah.
points from that.
And as I think about it too, like I said, Sunderland fans think they should at least get a point from this, but then Fulham fans are, I wonder if they're sweating like, oh, like Sunderland's in fourth place, like do we even get a point from this game? But
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they probably know more than we do. But I just can't get my I just can't see Fulham. See, when I say that, I can see them losing this game, but I also
Yeah.
like
I could see it just being like a
Fulham
like
home, beat the newly promoted team. That's just what
I
it is.
know. But
I'm,
Sunderland's so unique right now, man. I could totally like you and I just like tune in Saturday morning and we turn on this game and it's just like Sunderland taking it to them and they
yeah,
win like 2-0, just like and they keep doing it.
yeah.
Like I kind of they keep surprising everyone. It's just like, all right, fine.
It's just I can't.
I
They
can't.
can't
Yeah.
keep. They can't keep not getting away with it because they deserve it. I can't see them continuing.
I know.
And I pick Fulham of all teams to stop that form of that that they have. Okay, we'll move on from that game. The next game we'll talk about is Liverpool at Nottingham Forest. Um, Liverpool have been talking points for everything. The Vert's performance so far. Isak's been out of form, injured, whatever you want to call it. Ekatike, they're trying different formations now. Who knows what is to come from that? Nottingham Forest down there in 19th place. Obviously, they had Ange fired him. Now they got Dyche, going to Anfield this week. This one's obviously not as much of a hot take, but if Liverpool if they can catch any form, it's going to be now. I didn't watch any of that Liverpool City game. Obviously, they were at the Etihad, so it was an away game. Um, from what I did hear was that it wasn't like a stellar City performance. They did win 3-0, but it was like, hey, once we got the first goal, we're just like a little bit above cruise control, if that makes sense. They weren't not
Mhm.
City weren't trying, but they also weren't like it wasn't the best City performance they'd ever seen. It was just a cruising 3-0 win. So if they need to get points, they're currently in eighth. They won their last home game. I just again not really much of a hot take. I just see them winning again, getting
Yeah.
that home field advantage back under their belt.
Yeah. I mean, and talking about that City Liverpool game, it certainly was it very much so was a cruise control type of thing. I mean, I watched that game and I mean, City just looked miles ahead of
Mm-hmm.
what Liverpool is this season. And I mean, unfortunately, you've got some of their new guys like Florian Wirtz who are struggling to find their form and their position and what they're going to be, what their exact role is in this squad. And you've got Julian Nagelsmann and some other, German folks that are coming out and saying like it's disappointing to watch
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool with Florian Wirtz right now because they are not using him correctly and kind of talking shade a little bit. So it's just. And Mo Salah, like if you can't be Mo Salah again, I mean, I don't see how this team scores goals that win the Premier League anymore. So, in terms of prediction for this game, I think it's going to be fun, but I don't think that Liverpool finds that like 4-0 comfortable home win type of form this game. I mean, I haven't been super high on Nottingham Forest this whole time, but there's something about Sean Dyche going back to Anfield for some
Oh,
reason that
true,
just,
true.
yeah, I mean, for some reason it's just delete everything else out of your mind. It's just that happening. It's like, all right, I think Forrest is going to put up a fight here, and yeah, I could see like a really disappointing 1-1, for disappointing for Liverpool. I mean, disappointing 1-1 or like a 2-1 again. I guess a solid 90 plus 8 goal to make it 2-1 sort of thing. I do think Forrest scores. Honestly, I think that. Liverpool's defense just has not been there. Konate, I don't know how he is still starting. Like, start an academy player over him. Seriously, like every time I watch a Liverpool game, this guy is making so many brutal mistakes that should not happen at this level.
Well, and they've got Frimpong who's injured, but also was not impressive when he started. I think we see something fresh from Liverpool. I know they probably had plenty of players travel internationally, but I think I remember seeing early on in the break that with like the academy kids or the reserves trying like a 3-2-5 formation basically.
Mm.
So that's why I mean, not that they need any extra juice to show up at home and win, but maybe there's just a tweak that unlocks not even necessarily verse. Maybe he finally like unlocks Salah to reach where he's usually at, or maybe Ekatike and
Maybe
Isak.
Sabasly
Yeah,
continues flying in like a more advanced
but just
rhythm
like
shots type of role.
just I don't know what like it's not a creativity issue because they have those players. That maybe it's just like they're not set positionally. They just it just takes one game to understand that like okay like if Isak's up top like if we just feed him the 10 quality chances like we're gonna get a couple of goals. So maybe that's just all it takes with the formation change. But I'll stick with my guns. I think a comfortable Liverpool win here. Again, not a hot take, forced at home, but everything you said, I completely vouch
I think
for as
that's our
well.
first game that we're kind of veering off a little bit because I'm gonna say I don't think it's comfortable for Liverpool, so this will be our one. We'll see what
Our one,
happens.
okay.
By the way, Sebastian Berhalter, absolute banger. Just
just
gonna,
just scored.
yeah.
I hope he starts.
Side note,
USA talk. Maybe we'll do a little USA podcast, just a super deep dive on players
mm-hmm,
that nobody cares about. That make
mm-hmm,
that like the fringe player squad.
mm-hmm. We can go into the U15 squad too.
No, 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 no. I don't condone that. Anyways, last night in game, Wolves against Palace. Wolves at home still have not won a Premier League game. We've just been shitting on Wolves every single podcast so far. Palace, on the other hand, middle of the table, I would say a underperform or just a letdown performance before the break at home to Brighton. But in terms of on the road, they're top of the table. They don't concede. The goals really don't flow as much. But I think not this is easy, but I'm going to lean Palace here. Clean sheet. I don't know. I know Mark Gahey. He's still not training because he wasn't training with England. So their back line might be missing at least him. I think I'm forgetting someone else as well, but I don't want to overcomplicate. Like, just keep it simple. I think a Palace win here is what I'll go with.
Yeah, I don't see any sort of like, oh, but watch out for Wolves in this match. Like, I don't see any of that at all. Wolves are a dumpster
Yeah,
fire, man. And I know they see it that way in their locker room too. Like, the locker room is probably a mess at Wolverhampton right now. So, I don't see it. This is a great defensive unit. It's well coached from Crystal Palace. They've got great players in the attack that can spark great moments, and they've got a rock solid defense. So I don't think it's going to fly with goals or anything like that, but I see it pretty fairly easy 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 type of deal from Palace.
it's also 0 wins in the Prem, 1 point in the 6 home games as well.
Mm,
So
brutal.
last game on Saturday is the 11:30 kick, Newcastle City. I, if I can, I will totally watch this game. Newcastle started slow, but they've been kind of what we've been talking about. Great at home, bad on the road, but they've won their last three Premier League home games, only allowing 1 goal. City is in great form. They have, I believe, they've won their last 2 away games, but also they just beat Liverpool. Holland's on fire.
Holland's in fire.
In on the fire. He is the fire.
He is the fire. That's a good way to put
And
it.
I'll even
Doku's the fucking fire
I'll,
after last game.
I'll even pull it from the international. They just qualified for their first World Cup in who knows how long. So
Easily qualified, averaging like 6 goals a game. Well done.
God, but every part of me, I think this is where I want to get cute for the first time. I think I'm going to get cute. I think I'm going to go for. I guess cute would be Newcastle money line. I'm going to lean cute. I'm going to go Newcastle draw I'm gonna go draw on this game. I can't go full money line. I'm gonna go draw.
This was my when I was looking at the slate, this was my one like I think this is a letdown spot for City in the same way that they lost away to who was it? Aston Villa and Brighton earlier in this season. I
Yeah.
mean, of course, they're in incredible form and everything like that, but
Mhm.
I don't know. This Newcastle team, whenever they have someone coming to their hood that is a really, really good team, they just light it up. If they have
Mhm.
that core midfield of Joe Linton, Tonali, and Guimaraes like all healthy, I mean, they light it up. I think this is going to be a really fun game to watch, and I think this is a sneaky Newcastle win. Um, you know, it would even
Oh,
be
sneaky win.
according to Vegas, it would still be, a hot take for me to say they'll get a point here. But I think they at least get a point here. If not, I think they could get a fun 2-1 late winner type of game for sure. Yeah, this was one of my upsets as well.
At St. James, right? There's St. James Park. It's the
Hmm.
primetime game. It's going to be probably a night game now too. So the home field advantage will be there.
Electric environment there. Electric.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna stick with draw just because I can't like I don't predict a clean sheet. I don't think they're gonna ice out City. Like obviously we think Holland will score. You're right, maybe a Doku game, but I like that. I like Newcastle that draw. I like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, so that was the Saturday slate. We move on to Sunday. Only two games. We have the 8 a.m. game with Leeds to Aston Villa. Aston Villa are in fantastic form. Like I said, we talked about earlier, they beat Bournemouth. They did lose to Liverpool, which we did predict, but that was just one of those get right games. They beat
Hmm.
City. They came and beat Tottenham on the road as well. So uh, I will continue to choose that. The only hold I have is just what we've talked about over and over. I feel annoying myself just saying, but like the home game factor for Leeds at Ellen
Yeah.
Road. But it's not even that like Ollie Watkins is clicking. It's like Buendia, Rogers, McGinn. Like the midfield is just
Yeah.
taking over. So with the amount of possession I expect them to have, um, and then obviously man marking Ollie Watkins, even Matty Cash is scoring goals. Like I just think that Villa are in too good of form. I expect at least a point, but I'll go all the way to say that they win that game.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one for me. Um, just because I don't know. I think in the way that Leeds has been so good at Ellen Road, I don't think this is going to be one of those like, oh, watch out for Leeds at home in this matchup because they're going to score goals. I think it's more so this game is going to be a little bit quieter than people might expect. I do think that I will take Villa's form into the biggest consideration and probably say they sneak out the win here, or at least gather a point. But not as exciting of a game as maybe some people or even Vegas might expect. I can see Leeds struggling to score a single goal, but I can also see that see their home form uh, kind of coming out in the way of defense rather than
Mhm.
them scoring goals. So I can see this being a 0-0 at halftime and then probably a 70th or so goal from Aston Villa and maybe Leeds sneak one out and tie it 1-1. But otherwise, I think this is going to be a pretty low scoring battle.
I think like the same way we talked about Burnley and Sunderland, Sunderland more that like eventually something's going to have to give. Like they can't just keep this up. And not that Leeds have been stellar, but they do have 8 points from their five home games. I just see this one maybe being like, all right, like it's the end of November. We're about to play like 6 game weeks in the month of December alone. Like the games are coming. And obviously, they played more games in the championship, but it's a whole different intensity of the Premier League. Like, I just see this being like, oh, let's get out of the international break, and then they lose points to Villa, and then they just
Yeah.
kind of start to like stumble. I
Yeah.
can see this just being like a game the Leeds fans expect to get a result. They ultimately won't get it, and then just see how their season goes from there. That's kind of how I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it. Okay, probably if not the most important game of the weekend. 10:30, we have the North London derby. It's at Arsenal at the Emirates. I've already mentioned the cycle last time. The we suck, and then Tottenham shows me we don't suck. I believe we're good. Tottenham shows me we suck. It's just an endless cycle. I'm going to be try as realist as I can here. We have the best form in the Premier League. We have not lost a game. We've allowed 3 goals in those 5 Premier League games. Arsenal are missing Gabriel for sure. I saw Timber got injured, and then maybe Gyökeres had a knock or something. But this is probably the most confident I've been going into an Arsenal away game. Going back to peak Pochettino, peak like Harry Kane, Son, Dele Alli, Ericsson, like we weren't scared to go. Fast forward to like early 2020s, it was just like a bloodbath. It was like Arsenal were scoring minimum 3 or 4 goals. I've talked about earlier just how Thomas Frank can adapt tactically. Wouldn't surprise me if we have a 5 back, or if like it's at some point it's Romero, Van de Ven, and then like Polini is that third center. Like that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I'm gonna, if I were to bet this, I would still go. Assuming Arsenal are heavy favorites, I still would go Tottenham like spread, assuming it was like they were dogged by a goal. Just because I
Yeah.
don't think Thomas Frank will let us get embarrassed. If that's being said, we may be
Yeah.
boring football. I mean, we put up, what was it, 0.05 xg at home against Chelsea or whatever the game was like. I'm sure we'll have a counterattack. It's be different, tactically, but I am confident that this will not be a blowout. I think Arsenal wins, which is just lame, but I have confidence in Thomas Frank in his first real test, especially in the eyes of Tottenham fans. Like the Chelsea game kind of failed that one, but Tottenham fans care about the game against Arsenal more than Chelsea.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we always come back to this where I have a little bit more confidence in Tottenham than you do.
Well,
And it's
it's my
really
cycle. It just depends where I
no,
am
I get
in
it.
it.
I'm always, and we'll get to this game next, but either way, I mean, Arsenal has had some real surprise injuries lately. I mean, Calafiori is not like a super crucial player, but him being out it just means more rotation and less
Mhm.
chemistry. Martin Odegaard has been out for a while, and he's going to continue to be out. He's a key player. Kai Havertz as well. Gabriel Martinelli got a thigh injury as well, so he's going to be out. And then Gabriel obviously is the most important injury.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some really key injuries to this Arsenal team. And I don't know. I would love to see the matchup history between Brentford and Arsenal when Thomas Frank was with Brentford. Obviously, it's a different deal here, but
Yeah.
something tells me that Tottenham is at least the players are starting to get a grasp of what Thomas Frank wants to do here and are kind of starting that initial process of buying in and actually reflecting that on the field.
Mhm.
And if there is some, surprising history of Brentford actually being competitive against a team like Arsenal, who have been playing the same way for years now because it's been working for them, not necessarily in a trophy sense, but it's been working for them. And they've been a very, very good team. And so I'm curious to see if Thomas Frank can unlock that. And I would go as far to say to, you know, um, take if an upset is that Tottenham grabs a point here, then give me that. And I don't know, I can't give you a score prediction because this could fly with goals, but it could be
Yeah.
1-1 or 0-0. I have no idea. But I do think Tottenham makes a competitive game here, and potentially gets a point. If that's a hot take, I don't even know if it is.
I don't even know if Kolo Muani played for France in the international break, but like he has been insane for us at holding the ball up and distributing well. So it's going to be cool to watch him battle against whichever center back ends up man marking him as well. Ideally, Kudus will have covered from his knock. Like we don't have an excuse where we don't have Madison and Kulusevski, but we haven't had them all season, so it's not like there's an issue there. And then hopefully, a breakout game from Xavi this week would be fantastic. I don't know if you saw it,
Yeah.
but he got rid of his dreads, so it's his classic like
Ooh.
long hair from when he was younger, kind of teenage PSG, RB Leipzig look. So
Watch out.
here we go. But no, I'll be realistic. I do expect Arsenal to win, but I don't. In terms of previous North London derbies for Tottenham, like I'm confident in. This is going to be hilarious. Fast forward to Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
just like 3-0 Arsenal. Just
In
eating
the
my
first
words, but
half.
we'll leave it there. We get the point. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
On Monday, last game of the game week, we got a 2 p.m. kick. We have Manchester United at home to Everton. United off back-to-back draws, including the 95th minute winner or equalizer against Tottenham. If Richie scores, he better keep his fucking shirt off. His stats against scoring when taking he wouldn't won a game. Anyways, Everton, who surprisingly decent on the road overall, though in the middle of the table, fresh off a win as well. I'll let you lead because it's your toffees, but yeah, what do you think?
I think we're in danger here. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm in danger. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a fun game, and I think we can give a game to any team in the Premier League, which is fun to be in that position. But at the same time, if our number nine cannot score goals, we're useless. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. We're going to finish anywhere from 12 to 15 again, and it doesn't matter. If we can't get goals out of Beto or Barry, who have just not looked good, they can't finish the ball, just like DCL could. It's so frustrating to not have a good number nine for so long. Um, there's nothing else about it. I mean, we can have as great of a midfield and CDMs as we want and defense and whatever, but it just doesn't matter. We are going to lose games if our number nines can't score any goals. So I'm scared of United right now. I will say you and me, of course, going back a few weeks, we've been, oh, are we there yet? Are we
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
there? Like we've had this discussion for many weeks now, and United looks like they are clicking and finally pretty darn scary. I think Jordan Pickford has been a little bit too good for us in recent, I'll go as big to say years, and I can see him having howlers. I can see Michael Keane scoring an own goal back to his original Michael Keane-esque form, even though he's been great for us. I'm not trying to shit on him. Yeah, I just see this game being riddled with, well, the rubber band finally snapped at some point where our number nine can't score goals and our defenders finally made some pretty bad mistakes. So I don't see it for us. I see United win here. I don't think we'll be able to score more than one goal, of course, which is not a hot take. And I do think United put at least two in on us. So give me United here,
Is it a
unfortunately.
Michael Keane revenge game though?
Yeah, it would be. Would be from a while ago.
I I'll be the same way you were for Tottenham. I will be for you. United don't have Sesko. He's out for a month as well, and
Hmm.
a lot of United fans have been not complaining about Cunha, but you would imagine that Cunha then starts up top, and he's not who Sesko is, obviously. But they've been complaining about just his shot taking choices, if that makes sense. Just
Hmm.
like he'll ruin the run of play, or he'll just take a necessary long shot. We all know the type of player who that is, but
Hmm.
um, I
Love
mean,
betting on those players' shot
yeah,
props. Shout out Julio and Cizo.
yeah.
Classic that kind of
I
type
won't
of
I
player.
won't say draw, but I think that this is a closer, maybe a late pull away goal. I think that them missing a central striker, especially with how physical you guys will play, that
That is important. Yeah.
it'll be a factor for sure.
Yeah. I don't mind that.
Okay, so not bad. Game week 11 recap right there, fresh off international break. I love our 9 a.m. takes for sure. I like almost want to bet each one just to see how we do, but that's just exactly when you think you know what you're talking about. That's when it flips,
Yeah.
especially off international
Hmm.
break. But to wrap it up with our one and done goal scorers, I'm having a howler. I have got my last three wrong, while Casey is 2-1. He had Holland last week. I had Mateta. The 1 week I picked Mateta, and he just doesn't score a brace and kick the corner flag. But um, I'll go this week because I need all the help to go first. But I'm going to pick Saka. I will pick Bukayo Saka in the North London derby. Probably a penalty will happen from some BS handball, just knowing our luck. But no, I'll take the cheese. I'll take Bukayo Saka to score against us. What about you?
Yep. I'm going to do Danny Welbeck. I'm going to exhaust my Danny Welbeck option
It's a
here.
great week to
On
choose him.
Yep, at home to Brentford. Let's continue the form, old man.
All right, all right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Yeah, I mean,
We're confident
love
about our
some
takes this
questions.
week, so we'll circle
Yeah,
back next week on how we did.
all our. I guess we're only on YouTube. All of our YouTube, throw us a like,
Throw us a
bump
comment.
us up
Tell
to
us where you're from.
five. If you're still listening, 5 YouTube likes. That's not a stretch. Just give us 5.
Yeah, true. I mean, just
I'm begging
smash that like button.
for this great content. All right, that was game week 11. Footy thoughts. Thank you. Watch out for next week. Peace.
Good luck, everyone.